Well, good afternoon again, everybody. It's always afternoon for me. It's super early morning for Steve, I think. And today I'm thrilled that we've got Veronica joining us. I'm not quite sure what time it is in the morning for her, but I'm sure we'll be getting around to that in a minute. Again, this is some artwork that I've been looking at for the last 2 or 3 days. I'm absolutely fascinated to find out a little bit more about Veronica and her work. I understand that she's self-taught, but that has not stopped her and her work from being exhibited in lots of different places in the US. And she's a well-traveled lady. So be fascinated to see where all those artistic influences come from. So enough from me, and I'd like to say good morning to Veronica Wong. Over to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
It's all you, Veronica. It's all you. Show us everything.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me first take you around my studio. Okay. Let me just have to turn this video around. How do I turn this video around?
Very careful.
Okay. Wait. Hold on. Okay.
Ooh,
so can you see this piece here? Yeah.
yes.
So this is one of my exhibited piece. It was exhibited in Chicago, and I had another one, but it got sold in the exhibition.
Oh,
so
wow.
This particular piece, that I think you have that on your NFT. This one is a very popular piece. This was accepted in the in a literacy book in Germany, a magazine in Germany, and several exhibitions too. So I love painting ocean because, like David said, that I lived in many countries, and Australia was one of them. So the Great Barrier Reef fascinated me. So I was very fascinated by the corals, the shapes, the colors, the beautiful design. So this is another piece that I'm working on right now. It's not done yet. It's also another ocean piece. It's a very huge piece. I had to stop that for a while because I'm going into another exhibition in Chicago, the same gallery that I've already appeared 3 times. This one here, can you see this one? Yeah, so that's another piece that I painted. It's more of a like a fantasy piece. It's a tree. It's a magical tree with a city that keeps changing every time when you climb up and go to the top. It's actually based on a book by Annie Blyton. It's called The Magical Faraway Tree. This is one of my earlier piece. Again, mermaid. This particular piece here, the tail is actually made from eggshells that I cracked up into little pieces and give it a little bit of texture to the painting. This one here, this piece here is this piece here over here. That's exhibited in the New York Gallery. So I was very proud of this piece. Then over here is this one was exhibited in Texas Capitol in one of the representative office for women of Women's Month. And I also do resin work, as you can see. This one is part of my painting that I resin it. Do resin work and another piece.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
That's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, we have a piece here of yours.
Yeah, this one here, I did not put an NFT. This, if you live in Singapore and you know a little bit of Singapore, if you look at the butterfly, it's actually the Merlion. It's the shape of Merlion. So this piece was painted because I visited Singapore, and it's been a long time, and I got there. I was so inspired. I came back, I painted. So these are all the flowers, tropical flowers that you find in Singapore. So, but I didn't paint the Merlion, but I made the shape with a mammoth butterfly gathering together. And that particular piece, the original, was already sold in Chicago in an exhibition, but I made a different one with different flowers. And that is actually a print. So yeah, you just seen around my art studio.
Very cool. So what's
Yeah.
your inspiration? I mean, the one piece from Singapore, we got that because you went to Singapore and you're doing that. So like the one you're working on now, what's the inspiration behind that?
Like I said, I lived in Australia for 5 years, and I just love the corals, the coral reefs. They're very unusual. They have these beautiful colors. You know, if you dive, right, you see these beautiful colors and the odd shapes that they have. And so I try to replicate it, but using dots and lines. Okay. So if you repeat a line, like this one here, if you repeat a line, it becomes a shape. See that? Mm-hmm. So this piece here, I'm working for exhibition that's coming in October in Awakening. And I want to talk a little bit about Awakening because that is a gallery that I support a lot because it's to help women who are sexually abused to display their art, to how they work themselves out of the shame, the guilt, you know, through art. It's like art is a therapy for them. So that particular gallery is one of my most favorite gallery that I work very closely with. So this is my third time going back. They invited me the third time. So I'm working really hard on this piece here. So this piece here is a lady. I'm going to finish painting her face. And her hair, as you can see, you have little words like, am I loved? It's not my fault. I'm not ashamed, betrayal. I shall not be silent. So it should be weaved into her hair. Right. You know, so these are her thoughts just caught up in her hair. You know, she's struggling, you know, with the sexual abuse. So I haven't finished it yet. So I'm kind of rushing it because
when is the exhibition? When's the exhibition?
In Chicago.
Yes. When's that one?
In October. Somewhere in October. They haven't given me the dates yet. But I'll be doing like a online interview with them too. I'm trying to plan to go down, but if I can't, then they'll get me like this online. Okay. Yeah.
And then is that the Awakening Gallery or is that a different gallery?
Yeah, it's called the Awakening Gallery.
Awakening, and that's in Chicago.
Yeah, it's in Chicago. Yeah, check them out. It's,
we will.
Yeah, I love that gallery. I love everyone there. They're so kind, you know. Because when I on my second exhibition, I went down and they were so super kind to me and super nice.
That's awesome. That is very nice.
And they make you know, artists who have been sexually abused so comfortable. They have a little room where we could go to kind of like just have quiet, you know, because sometimes all this noise and people around women who are sexually abused tend to be overwhelming. So. Right. So we go there to just to have quietness and just be on our own. So this is yeah. So
I was fascinated by your work because some of it's just these are oils on canvas. I take it that you're doing.
It's acrylic.
Acrylic, yeah. But it's also mixed media. It would appear if you're putting these shells on there as well. Is that a theme that goes through all your work, that they're mixed media, or is it?
It is. Sometimes I use watercolor, acrylic. I use a lot of acrylic pen to draw the fine lines. And I say I'm very. There are three things that I love to do. It's flowers, flora, and I love the sea, and I love painting faces. As you can see, a lot of my painting, they're all faces, you know, involved. And
but I have a confession to make because for me, there's a favorite one that I've seen of yours was a thing. I think it's called Holy City, and it just absolutely drew me in. I was just looking and looking and looking and looking and getting further sucked into the painting. That was absolutely fascinating. What was the inspiration behind that?
It was based on a book that I loved when I was a child.
Oh, this was Enid Blyton book.
Yeah, that's right. The Magical Faraway Tree. It was a book that I you know, tried to get away from all the troubles in my home. You know, it came from a very complicated, troubled home, and so this book helped me to escape it. you know, so not to think of what I was going through, but go into it, another imaginary world to just escape what was going on.
And
in my life.
is that reference Holy City in the book? That's not sort of it doesn't sound very enlightened like.
Yeah, that's right. This is like my own interpretation. Like I'm going on to this magical tree, right? And what I hope to find on this up this tree is a holy city, and that's a reference to how I found peace in myself too. You know, with all the things that happened to me when I was a child, I found it through religion, to God. So to me, that is like a holy city, you know, going to God, you know, so visiting his kingdom. Yeah. So that was a particular very special piece to me too.
And is that something that I know there's an NFT of that. It wasn't one that I was involved in. It was before I joined Noisy Panda. So it's a bit of a discovery journey that I had when I was looking at those the last couple of 3 days. It has pride of place in your studio. Has that been exhibited as well?
That one has not. I haven't found an exhibition with a theme like this that I could exhibit it. Yeah.
So I kind of got that impression it was something which was maybe one of those ones that didn't quite have a price on it, so it couldn't.
Oh, no. Yeah, a lot of my painting that I painted, I get so attached to them that I just don't want to sell them away. Yeah, you know, so that piece is particularly one of them. And also because, you know, every exhibition, they have a little theme to it. So you have to go according to the theme. So I haven't found one that I would exhibit that, but not sell it according to the theme of the exhibition. So that's why I haven't exhibited that one yet. Yeah.
Is that how it's normally work? Is that how it's been working for you then? That these galleries will contact you and say, "This is our theme. Can you produce X numbers of pieces of work for the gallery for that theme?"
Not all of them are that they have contacted me. Some of them, yes, like Awakening and a couple more. Sometimes it's just too expensive to send my painting up there unless it's online, so that's fine. With Awakening, I go a little bit further because they are my favorite. That's my favorite gallery, so I do that for them. So it's not a very big piece, so I'll put in the post, wrap it up, post, and send it out. But like bigger pieces like that one, the Holy City, just to send to New York would cost me like a lot. Like the first time I sent to New York, cost me $500 just to post that particular painting of the sea. Yeah. So
and you're based in Las Vegas, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. I was in Austin, Texas first, but then I moved to Las Vegas. Yes.
Yeah. So you went from hot to hotter.
Yeah. Hot to hotter. Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
But in Las Vegas, I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening in Las Vegas. Is art important there? Are the galleries there that people say, "Hey, I must go there"?
No, not really. I think people come here to gamble, not so much the art scene. There is an arts district, which I love to go sometime, but it's always pretty empty. You know, there's not many people except first Friday of every month. And all the artists gathers together, and they have a little market, a fair market, art market. So so if you want to visit the art of Vegas, you go to the art district, or you come to the market that is first Friday of every month. Yeah, which I'm going in August because a friend of mine has a friend who has a gallery there, so he has helped me to get in to display my art there. Yeah.
All right. So shameless plug for yourself. Where, what date, and whatnot. So we'll try to air this before the first Friday of August, so people can come see your art.
Okay, it's August the 4th.
August the 4th. Okay. And where's the gallery?
Actually, I'm not very sure. Just a minute, guys.
Okay. No worries. No worries.
Well, while she's looking for the address, I can confess I've been to Las Vegas too many times, I think, but I don't gamble, so I'm the ultimate guest.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been to lots of computer shows and all sorts of exhibit, these big shows that go on in the US. Fabulous place. I must drive everybody crazy because I don't gamble. I just wander around the casinos and eat cheap food and enjoy watching people lose money, I think, more than anything.
Yeah. So it's August 5th, and the gallery name is Recycle Propaganda on Main Street.
Recycle Propaganda on Main Street.
On Main Street, yes.
Yeah.
Cool. On August 5th. We will make sure that this airs before August 5th. So I think it'll actually then air on August 4th. So we'll bump a few things the day before. So this can be there. So hopefully people will show up and go, I saw you. So
So when I paint this particular sea, especially if I paint sea, I sometimes put like little sea creatures in it, like sharks and an octopus, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is actually the corals. So that is just like just added things to make the picture fun.
You mentioned you mentioned that you lived in Australia, and obviously that's the influence, as you're just saying. Were you diving yourself? Is that where all these
no, I wasn't diving.
Okay.
I wasn't diving, but
these would be the things that you would want to see if you were in that beautiful blue water.
Yes, you would want to see that. It's fascinating, and it's like another world that you go in, but I love to do repeated lines and dots, and especially if you repeat a line or a dot, they take shape, they take a pattern. Yeah, so let me show you.
Could you just show that to us, because I'm fascinated to see what you mean by that.
Can you see? I'm trying to. I wish I could turn this picture around. Can you see this one here?
Yeah, we've got full screen on it.
Yeah, that is a line, and a repeated line, and I shape it into like a weed. I'm sorry, like a little coral. And if you this one here too, and if you see this one, these are actually just shells, just repeated and just put it together, and it's just so beautiful. When you make lines and you join the lines and dots, they just take shape.
I don't want to be rude, but these are your fantasy shells. Then these are things that this all comes out of your imagination. These not based on you're not looking at National Geographical photos or drawings of them. These are things that you think, okay, this is what I would like to have if I was doing this ultimate scuba dive.
Some of them, yes, like things like this one here. You probably find them in the sea, but not like this. The shells that I painted right here at the bottom here. Yeah, like this is the shells that you find in the sea, but not some of these. Some of these are like just kind of representation of the seashells that the corals that you see. It's like a representation of how they may look like, it's just taking their patterns and a different shade of dark and light that you see. And
so this is something different there, because this is, I've got to be facetious now. I call this your scuba period of painting, because the other ones, of course, were representations of faces and flowers and other things. Is this a theme you keep coming back to, these beautiful blue waters? Yeah.
Yes.
Why is that, do you think? Well, why is there something in that pulls you back, or? I'm being rude now. Just ask you.
No, it's all right. I mean, I just love the patterns that they make. And if you it's not that everyone looks the same. Like this one in New York City did not. This one in New York City, you see, it's a different thing. It's a different. So much different from the other one.
This seems to be less blue water and more plants and corals.
Yeah.
And the other one you're working on, you've got this big blue, big
Oh,
blue.
I'm not
area.
done with that one yet.
Ah,
I'm going
okay.
to put a face in it. Yeah, a mermaid swimming in it. I'm not done with that one because I had to stop this one and do the Chicago one because this one is more important. It has to go out before the October so that they can exhibit it for their exhibition. Yeah, so I and then because I went on a holiday to Vietnam, so that came to a halt after a while. So I'll continue. I will start to finish that when I finish this one here. The girl.
So you said you'd been on a holiday. You've been on vacation then for the American audience to Vietnam. Did you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you bring all those colors and smells and back with you as well? And you want to put that back into your art, or?
Well, if I go to a certain country, if I get inspired, I'll come back with an idea and then I will work on it. I love the Vietnamese women in their costumes, and that is something that I probably will work on another piece another time. Right now, I have to rush this one. Rush this one off.
Right now, she has to get that piece out. The piece to Chicago is the most important piece that has to go out right now. So.
Yeah, it has to go out. Yeah, and I have to try to send it as early as I can. And I have a lot of. They have been sending me emails asking me a lot of questions about the piece. So I have to really finish it real quick for them. Yeah.
Is this something that you always have? That this sort of this almost. No,
actually,
because what I actually mean by that is that, like, while you're actually working on painting A, you've already got painting C, B, and C and D in your head. The next thing. Is that how it works with you, or you think, no, I'm just going to do this and focus on that?
Oh, I have ADHD, so you can understand why I jump from one project to another. I may just stop this for a while and then go and do resin work. Yeah. When I feel like, I'm a little bit bored of this now, I'll jump off and do some resin work. I've already have something in mind for resin work. I've collected a lot of leaves from. Okay, I shouldn't be saying this. Okay, collected a lot of leaves and dry them. So I'm waiting to do another piece of resin work. So, if you know ADHD people, they can't focus on one piece for a long time. They jump around.
I live with somebody who has that, so I know all about that. I know all about that.
And he works with a whole group of people that have that too, so he's fine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But can I bounce you now straight back then to the resin work, because you went very quickly past that, obviously, because we've been talking to you about your paintings,
right.
Many of which are available as NFTs on Noisy Panda. So again, another, Steve would say, a shameless plug for that. But I'd like to have is it possible we can go back and have a quick look at the resin stuff? Because so what are you doing with that? Yeah, these are molded. These are molds you're doing, or is this just something you're pouring over the top of objects?
Yes, I buy molds. I like unusual molds, and I buy them, and sometimes I work with wood too. So this piece here is actually my painting. You can see them, they're my painting. So I made them into little stickers, and I put them into little irregular molds and with flowers. I just love flowers and butterflies. So, and then I put them into this wooden tray, this acacia wood tray, and I resin it. And I wanted to make it look like they're floating in water, like in a river or in a stream or a pond, they're floating. And so you have this creepy spider and butterfly. So this is actually this is my most favorite piece. And actually a lot of people like this piece too, because it contains my art. So this is another one that
I'm going to be say something really awful and say to you, did you know that you can make an NFT out of that tray?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we'd love to do that, because not only do you get the tray, you get the NFT with the artwork on it as well. So yeah,
Okay,
always.
yeah.
I'm fascinated by offering real physical product with the
Yeah, I
with the
actually didn't
NFT.
know that you could actually sell the physical product with the NFT.
Yeah.
I thought it
Well,
was just the NFT.
no,
So there was something recently that I learned.
Yeah, we try very much. We would love to support you, and even further with all your new pieces of art, because what we want to do at Noisy Panda, where it's possible. Not all our artists have physical artwork. Some of them are so successful that it all gets sold out before we get a chance to even to offer our services. Right. And I say great, because everybody has to eat, but we try and link a physical piece of art to the NFT. So it's like the art work plus, or the NFT plus, depending on which way you're looking at the market. So if you purchase the NFT, you get that's a digital representation, but you also will get the physical object, whether that's a painting you hang on your wall, or an object like that. Because fabulous, who would not want to own that?
So this one I made, this is very special, because this involves a lot of techniques in it. Because if you can see, this is like a little glowing halo, and if you turn it around, it's like a 3D thing. So this piece involved almost 3 days of working on it, because you have to dry it, and you go to the next stage, and you go to the next stage, and you go to the next stage. So this is a more detailed piece because of this halo here. And it's just like representing a nighttime, this spiders and butterflies. So most of my trays.
Your paintings all have a title.
Yeah, you usually have a theme. Yeah, like a.
Yeah, but do the physical objects, the other physical objects, the trays and etc., do they have a title as well? Because they obviously they are pieces of art. Well, they are for me. I mean, I'm a bit, bit weird, I suppose, as regards that. But if it's a pair of shoes that's been painted, or or a handbag, or a wooden tray, or something that's been done in resin as a physical object, it's a piece of art. So why would it not have a name? Well, because it's been created through love and skill. So but maybe I'm just a bit of a romantic. I don't know.
They all have a name, but most of my clients don't really bother about that name. They just like looking at it, and they love it, and they buy it. I have actually a very regular client here, and she's wonderful. She buys a lot from me, and sometimes she calls me up and asks me if I have anything new, and I'll show her, and I bring it to her, and that's the thing about having a regular client. Because you form a friendship with them, they know who you are, and you know who they are, and then they love your work. So so most of my trays, they do have a theme to it. I usually do like flowers and sea, and this one here I did was because I wanted it to look like a pond. Can you see it?
So
yes.
You wanted it to look like a pond? Is that what you said?
Yes, a pond with lily pads floating in it, and those are real leaves. They're actually weeds growing all around the neighborhood. So when I take my dog for a walk, I look at leaves, right? I'm so fascinated by the shape of the leaves and the patterns on the leaves.
Or like
some
this.
Of the leaves are so fascinating.
Like this one. I don't know if you can see this one. The one that she did for us. The background.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sort of.
The background.
So Steve,
like
some of those plants are actually from the plants that are surrounding my neighborhood.
Oh, very nice.
I picked them up.
This is favorite thing in the house, just so you know.
Okay,
Love
that's
this.
great.
It's prominently displayed, so it's not like, you know, shuffled off somewhere. It's very beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. So so this is the thing that I do. I go around walking in the neighborhood and I look at leaves, right? I look at weeds. Nobody would look at weeds, but some of the weeds have fascinating shapes. You know, like that one. It's a shape of a lily pad. If you put them together and you resin them and you make them like a little pond or you know, yeah, like a pond, and it's like lily pads floating, but nobody knows that that's a weed growing in the backyard. So I just love looking at weeds, and I go around just looking at leaves. I look at their shapes, and some leaves have beautiful lines on it. If you turn that upside down, the lines are so prominent. So when you dry them out, the lines comes out looking. It's just fascinating. And you can actually, if you have the leaves you have both shapes that are the same shape, you can resin it and make into little earrings. So I sell a lot of this earrings made of real flowers and leaves. People just love it. They snap it up. When I tell them these are real leaves and flowers, they can't believe it. They say, "Oh, really?" And then they buy it. So that's one of my hot items that I sell out real quick, using resin, real leaves and flowers.
Yeah, so it's another form of income for you then, these
these
earrings that you're making. Yeah.
Yeah, so not all the time, you know, people will buy your art. So you've got to make a living with something else. So resin was one of the things that I got into because I sell a lot of that, you know, in more than I sell my art. But you see, the thing is that I love lines and shapes, you know, and dots, and you see that everywhere in flowers, in corals, you know, and leaves, especially leaves, their shape, the lines. I'm drying out some of the leaf right now, and I'll be using them to put in a bigger tray, bigger mold that I bought. And sometimes I go crazy, you know. I would look at a table in my house and I said, okay, I'm going to resin this. And of course, I got to pass this through my husband because he'll say, please don't destroy this. I said, no, I'm going to make it really lovely. Like my wooden table that my husband bought in. I took that whole table and I resin an ocean on it. Wow. And it's out in the garden right now. Yeah, so I can't show you because out in the garden I have to walk out there. Yeah, so I resin the whole entire table to look like ocean with waves float, you know, splashing on it. So now I'm eyeing a metal tray, a big metal tray that sits on a wooden stand, and I wanted to resin that one too. So I've been thinking a lot about that. So I have to pass that through my husband again and ask him if I could do this.
So where are you getting these pieces of furniture from? You get from the thrifts? I know here in Holland.
No, I think she's getting it from her house.
Oh, from her house.
She's just walking through her house and saying, you know, this will look better if I put an ocean on it. It'll look better this. She's asking her husband, like, by the way, how upset are you going to be when I start doing this?
Yeah, that's right. How upset you're going to be.
And then she does it, and it looks beautiful, and he doesn't care. So it works out well.
But what we're finding here is what we're finding in Holland is a lot of the artists here are going to thrift stores, and they're picking up these, you know, very odd pieces of furniture, you know, like the one little table from a nest of three that the other two have disappeared somewhere, and they pick them up for you know 50 cents or $1 or $2 or whatever, and then they are painting them and putting resin on them as well.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
So it's sort of upcycling and the art to go with it. And why I asked you about the theme is what we found as well is that people are starting to say, well, yeah, it has a name for some reason or another. So because it's what I always say to people, it's like that, it's that birthday object in the house. People say, oh, what's that? He said, oh, you know, that's, you know, blah, 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 blah. Oh, why is it called that? Well, because it's this, this, and this. So people have got a whole load of stuff to talk about it, even though it's, you know, a piece of resin done in an artistic form on a piece of furniture from a thrift store. So it's interesting to see where all these artists are going with this stuff.
Yeah, almost most of my pieces have name on it. And sometimes when I'm at an art fair, I love telling people, explaining to them why I painted this, and why and how it, what does it mean? Like, okay, I'll show you this piece. Okay, this one here was painted during the pandemic, and there were a lot of deaths, and I would read articles of people losing their loved ones. So if you look at her, the flowers, they are actually roses, but they lost their color. So when you lose a person, when you lose someone you love, the color of the world becomes, dim and gray and black. So it kind of represents this, the atmosphere she's in. And only her face is colored, right? So all around her becomes dark because she lost someone. And of course, there is this tear coming down, and she's struggling. So this is a piece that came from the pandemic. So when when someone stopped by and I'm there, I work in the gallery, City of the World Gallery, in Meadow Malls, and my artwork is there. And when they stop by, and I talk to them about my pieces, like I tell them why I painted it, how it's why is this flowers, what do they represent, why is there one tear, because she's struggling, she's not really wanting to show all her emotions. So that's that was this piece. The original is right here with me, but I turned it into a resin piece, so you can actually hang it up.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, a resin.
That's beautiful, and I'm so glad that that you have an opportunity to talk about it. That's exactly why we wanted to interview you today. That's why we try and interview as many artists as we can, because it's not just that painting that you see or the NFT that you want to buy of an image. There's a whole story behind this stuff, and people are fascinated by that. People want to understand where the art came from. And the wonderful thing is that it's almost as if it's a sort of, how should we say, if I have this piece of art, I want to share it with somebody. I want that story to go with that art as it moves forward.
No, what you said was really, really right, because I was at this one here, and another ocean one that was sold was exhibited in Texas, in Las Vegas itself. In a gallery called Gallery 54, and I was actually there, and the girl was fascinated by this piece, and she asked me about it, and I explained to her why I painted it, and why the flowers black and white, not red, because they're roses, and she loved it, and she actually bought a print out of it, because I had some prints there too, and she bought the print because she says, "Wow, now that I know the story, I have to buy the print." So yeah, and that's why I love explaining, why I painted, the process of how, the art came about. So when they hear the story, they are fascinated, and they buy it. That exhibition, I sold one of my painting, and I sold mostly all my prints out. And wonderful thing was that the gallery owner told me that my two pieces was the most popular piece in the whole exhibition. That really made me so happy, because it's good to hear feedbacks like that, right, from the gallery, because I'm not there all the time. I come down once in a while. So
yeah. Well, you have amazing creations, whether it be the resin or whether it be the art or whatever. It's just all amazing, and it's bright and it's colorful, except for that one. But I mean, that's amazing as well. So anybody that is lucky enough to own one of your pieces, whether it be the physical or the digital asset, they're beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, we display our thing out, so we like it.
Yeah, I probably would approach. I don't know who. I usually just tell it to my son. I didn't know that I could actually sell the physical piece. So this particular one that I resin, the girl that suffered through the pandemic,
Right.
I probably contact him and tell him to put that on with the physical piece.
Just so you know, this guy for Noisy Panda is the head of NFTs. You probably just want to talk to him.
Oh, okay, David. Okay. Yeah, because
David-
usually I don't know any of you guys. I only know my son, so
Right.
I just
Yeah,
go
for-
through him.
if you need something done, this is the guy. David's
Okay.
the guy. David's the one who
David's the
runs
guy.
that whole shebang for Noisy Panda World. So
Okay.
he's the guy. So if you want something NFT or have questions about NFT, ask David, because David's the one who does it every single day, 12 hours a day, to make sure that all the artists, including you and everybody else that's on our different platforms, gets promoted and gets their stuff out. And that's why we're doing interviews with all the artists, to make sure that they can kind of tell their stories, so their fans, if you will, or potential fans or potential collectors, can know behind what it's all about. So yeah, so this is
So
the guy.
So one of my pieces got sold on NFT, right? Did you know that?
From us or from someone
Yes,
else?
from you.
Oh,
from you
very
guys.
cool. Is that true, David?
Yeah.
This was before I stepped in, Steve, I think. This was, yeah.
Oh,
it
that
was-
must be on OpenSea.
Yeah, it was just one of the early ones that I
Right.
wasn't party to.
Yeah, and
Well,
I told you, right, that's the one that is the most popular piece, because that got always accepted in every exhibition that I entered it.
Okay.
And at the same time, it was in a magazine. So the original piece I'm not selling, because everybody was so that piece always bring me a lot of attention. That's the ocean piece, this piece here.
Oh, that one's all over. By the way, when I Googled you, that one's the one that's all over, like, Google. That's one of your pieces that's shown on Google. That's a beautiful
Right.
piece.
That piece got sold on NFT on Noisy Panda.
Oh, cool. Well, David,
Someone
let's find
owns it now.
Let's find out about this. This could be
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah, and what we'll do is try and get some more art from you, and I'll have another go at it and see if we can bring it forward. I'd like to thank you so very, very much. For absolutely fascinating to talk to you today, Veronica. You've told us what we're all want to know. That where it all comes from, why it all happens. And yeah, we us people who can't, I can't draw two lines together. So I'm always fascinated to see why people's art they exist. But thank you very much. We're going to try and do some NFTs of all your art in whatever form it comes. And that's about it for us today, I think.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to look into it, because I know your stuff's up as NFT. I know there was an issue with Haylayer, so stuff that we thought sold didn't sell. So if it did sell, we have to take care of you. So let me find out about that.
It's sold because it belongs to someone else now. There's a name there, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
David, I'll leave it with you to work on that, if you would, please.
Will do.
Victoria, once again, thank you. Veronica, I'm sorry. I mean, it's like I'm having one of these days already. So Veronica, thank you so much. I will make sure I put it correctly in the thing. I will make sure that your interview comes out before the 4th, so everybody can, or the 5th, so they can see it on the 4th.
Right.
And then for NFTs, that's your guy. And once again, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.